All right. All right, Anth, whenever we're ready. Yeah, it wouldn't be appropriate for New Jersey Transit to be starting late, right? I mean, you would hope it'd be on time. So this will, okay, Nancy, we're good? All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks for making it this morning. This is certainly literally the who's who of South Jersey joining us here today to celebrate a significant milestone in our zero-emission bus program. I want to take a second just to thank the following people who took time from their busy schedules to be with us this morning, all who have been tireless advocates for public transportation in our state. Whoa. With us today, we have United States Congressman Donald Norcross, representing New Jersey's 1st District. And Congressman, very much appreciate, with your incredibly hectic schedule these days, taking the time out for us. Very honored. In addition, we have New Jersey State Assemblyman representing the 5th Legislative District, William Moyne. Thank you, and good luck for your wife on the expectations. And representing Camden County, we're pleased to welcome Camden County Commissioner Jeff Nash. Jeff is running late. I know we've got word. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff, you got in there. Okay, great. Thanks. And then certainly leading the host city for this morning's event, Honorable Victor Karczothan, Mayor of the great city of Camden. And we're also glad to have NJ Transit Board Member and Cherry Hill Councilwoman Sangeeta Doshi with us today. Sangeeta, it's great to be seeing our board members now more and more in person without masks. Thank God we're getting over the pandemic. And of course, New Jersey Transit's ability to deliver the critical bus service New Jersey residents depend on relies on the hardworking and dedicated men and women of the ATU, the Amalgamated Transit Union. And I'm pleased to welcome the chairman of the ATU of New Jersey State Council, or my partner, Orlando Riley. So now moving on to what brings us all here today. This is a significant milestone in our roadmap to achieving 100% zero-emission bus fleet by 2040. Today, we proudly announce the completion of the necessary renovation work here at the Newton Avenue Bus Garage, which includes the installation of the charging infrastructure to support 8 new electric buses arriving here later this year. That means this garage is now fully equipped and ready to support our agency's first ever electric bus deployment right here in Camden. As you can see here today, we have been using a demonstration bus to test the infrastructure while we wait the delivery of our own electric buses. As many of you know, back in October of 2021, our board approved the purchase of 8 electric buses, which represents another first in our history. The first electric bus is scheduled to arrive here in June, and the remaining 7 will be here by the end of the year, and we expect all of these buses to be in revenue service before the end of the year. The Camden Deployment is the first of its kind initiative for NJ Transit, which will test the electric buses in real-world conditions on specific NJ Transit routes. This will provide invaluable data and information on the effects of weather, passenger volume, road conditions, battery charging in real-life situations, and other factors that affect electric bus performance, including travel distance available between recharging. We chose Camden as the first place to introduce our electric buses in an effort to improve the air quality for Camden residents. As the mayor and I were discussing earlier, when you look at, New Jersey certainly is the most densely populated state, and Camden is like other of our major cities in New Jersey. When you take the disproportionate burden that Camden takes as far as air pollution and climate effect, climate change on the effect of the Camden residents as well as the commuters. As we work to electrify our bus fleet, reduce carbon emissions, and improve air quality here in South Jersey, we're also working to reshape much of our bus network to provide more modern and efficient services that meet today's travel needs and patterns. Building on the successful program of our New Bus Newark program, we recently launched the first ever initiative to reimagine the local bus network serving Camden, Philadelphia, and the surrounding counties. New Bus Burlington, Camden, Gloucester, or New Bus BCG, will assess the performance of 27 bus routes serving the region, as well as demographic trends and emerging development patterns. Network improvements will be informed by extensive stakeholder engagement, and in fact, we're holding our first 2 public meetings on this project on Wednesday, March 30th via Zoom. To register for any of those sessions, please visit njtransit.com/newbus-bcg. And ultimately, this project will usher in a new era of more frequent and more reliable bus service that meets current and future expected demand, all to the benefit of South Jersey customers, local businesses, and the economy. And when it comes to bus network improvements and bus electrification, we're not stopping in Camden. Last week, our board approved the first phase of our bus garage modernization program, through which New Jersey Transit will renovate and transform all 16 of our bus garages to support future zero-emission buses. The first phase of this program includes a similar project to the one we celebrate today, and that'll be the renovation of our Hilton garage in Maplewood to accommodate a similar battery electric bus deployment to serve the Newark region. We've also been working in other ways to promote a more sustainable future for our planet, which is one of the 5 overarching goals in our 10-year strategic plan, NJT 2030. And to that end, last month, we announced the development of our first ever sustainability plan in support of our goal to be a model for sustainability amongst transit agencies nationwide. This plan will build on the efforts already underway to transition to a zero-emission bus fleet, expand and optimize solar energy assets, implement energy efficiency and conservation measures, and invest in cleaner power, among many other efforts. NJ Transit will be reaching out to stakeholders, including the general public, environmental advocates, community leaders, and NJ Transit customers and the agency's employees to develop the framework of the plan. A series of webinars and surveys will be conducted to gather the input and keep the public informed of progress on the plan. The first webinar is scheduled for tomorrow, actually, March 23rd at 6 p.m., and I encourage you all to visit our new sustainability webpage at njtransit.com/sustainability to learn more. So I hope you can see that today NJ Transit is all in when it comes to delivering reliable transit service in the most environmentally friendly and responsible manner possible. A big part of that commitment is transitioning to a 100% zero-emission bus fleet by 2040, one of our agency's top priorities, aligned with Governor Murphy's ambitious energy master plan. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce one of NJT's staunchest advocates and a member of the congressional delegation that was instrumental in securing more than $4 billion in COVID relief funding. We would not have been able to ride through the height of the pandemic and provide the service that was so essential for this economy to keep going under the tough circumstances without that critical federal funding. It would be a world of pain I wouldn't want to imagine. And Congressman, can't thank you enough for having you be able to join us here today. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Congressman Norcross.
Thank you. It's great to be here today. Imagine the world, what we're going through today. But I look around here and we have who is South Jersey, starting with my mayor, Karczothan, and we were together at a great basketball game. It was great up until about the last 30 seconds, and unfortunately came up a little short, but did a great job. Commissioner Jeff Nash, who has been instrumental in so many issues surrounding the environment for his entire time that he's been involved. The longest serving commissioner in freeholder in New Jersey's history. Bill Moen, who is as close to becoming a new father as any of us can imagine, who has done a great job in caring about that. And Commissioner Doshi has been at every event. I have not seen the involvement of board members from New Jersey Transit like we have since you come on board, thinking about things that we know we need and bringing it as part of South Jersey. So thank you for what you do. And Kevin, for what you have continued to do. When New Jersey Transit, and I go back to the old public service days when the buses used to be around, for him to initiate, as part of the board, a review of what our area is going through and looking at the bus routes and making sure that we're keeping up with the changes is something incredibly important, and then to include those. So thank you for what you're doing there and what we're here for today. But I just want to take a moment and thank the employees of New Jersey Transit in Orlando for who you represent. Going through and why this is so important. The beginning of the pandemic, New York was number 1. Philadelphia region was number 2. When we didn't know what was going on, your drivers, your mechanics, who were literally on the front line, and so many of those literally gave their life so people could continue to get to work, and that's incredibly important. Thank you. So here we are here today, and thank you for the invitation. A transition is taking place not only in our city, our county, our state, but quite frankly, the entire world. Going to an electric bus fleet sounds simple. It couldn't be more complex, and there could not be a better time to do it than right now. It's a big deal. Literally, we're celebrating today the infrastructure. It's not like you're changing to a new gas station. You're literally changing the way we work and how important that is, because to electrify this is changing the way we do business. They're literally, public service had to put in a new substation. We are going to have to redesign our world around it. And New Jersey Transit is really leading the way there, and how important that is. Because when we look at our urban settings, which we're in today, trucks, buses are a major contribution to health issues in this city. And we're going to change that. Our friends from DRPA have been part of that. And John, good to have you here. When we look around at what's going on, New Jersey Transit picked this region because of its people, because of what we call a very flat landscape, and gives you a good baseline to learn off of it. But it's also about connecting people to jobs. And that's part of this that so many forget, that when New Jersey Transit, public transportation is connecting people with their jobs. As people go to work, ridership goes up, and that's what we're seeing today, helping people go back to work and making it better for them. Now imagine a world where we weren't as dependent on oil and gas, and how different today would be, given what is going on. A report yesterday that both of our poles, an unprecedented heat wave at those because of climate. This will help to change that. Russia invading Ukraine, and the war machine that Russia has is because of oil and gas. The more we electrify, saves the planet, saves lives in terms of health, and also gets us away from some very bad players in their war machine. So let's go from small picture to big picture. The charging station, 8 buses. That's just the beginning. We had the solar-powered stand out in Cherry Hill. That makes a difference if you're waiting for a bus in the rain and the snow. So thank you for that, and that's going on. We passed the infrastructure. $1.2 trillion had been talked about for decades. We got it done, and that's the money that's going to help fuel this. We also had money in there from the rescue plan to help school buses. That's the other part of this equation. But this is the first of many small pieces that bring us back to that big picture. We are a changing country. We're going to help the health outcomes of people who live in this neighborhood and others. We're going to make sure that we get away from the fossil fuels, and we're going to do it quicker because of what you're doing here with New Jersey Transit. So these are real projects for real people that make a real impact. Working people rely on what you do, and I want to thank you for starting here in Camden.
Thank you, Congressman. Well said on all the points. Very much appreciated. Next, I'd like to welcome up Assemblyman Bill Moyne. Bill, say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. The strongest and sweetest songs yet remain to be sung. I thought it would be fitting to quote Walt Whitman, the renowned poet and famous Camden resident, who passed away 130 years ago this coming Friday. And he's buried just 1 mile from here down Haddon Avenue. To me, that Walt Whitman quote is emblematic of the promise that this project that is right in front of us means to the city of Camden and to the Garden State. It's a pleasure to be among this chorus of change makers. I'm excited Camden was chosen by New Jersey Transit to operate this first of its kind electric bus project. And for all of the reasons that the Congressman had mentioned and Kevin had mentioned, I will not repeat them. This is going to create the waves that we need around the state, around the nation, and globally to ensure that our generation and generations to follow have a sustainable path forward. Literally creating the pipeline and the lifeline for us, I think, as a civilization to continue on. The completion of this New Jersey Transit electric bus charging infrastructure construction project marks a truly special day. When the first bus arrives in June, we will get a good sense of how effective electric buses can be in real-world conditions, and we will be able to start understanding and planning that course for the future, like I just mentioned. New systems always bring new challenges, but this project will allow us to review the infrastructure required to modernize our transit system, enabling us to get a jump start on perfecting large-scale electric bus infrastructure systems across the state. I just want to talk very briefly about the path forward and then also the financial benefits to this. New Jersey's working toward a path of zero emissions by 2040, and this project spearheads that goal. Vehicle emissions are the #1 cause of air pollution, and we must actively work to ensure that we have clean and healthy air to breathe in our communities. Transitioning to electric buses will address this issue by producing significantly lower greenhouse gases. Here's a statistic for you. If the entire country replaced diesel power transit buses with electric buses, we could eliminate more than 2 million tons of greenhouse gas emissions each year. We may be changing just a few buses now through this program, but by implementing electric buses in our communities, we will weaken the emissions dramatically here in the city of Camden and around the state going forward. Now, speaking towards the financial benefits to this, not only do these bus systems create cleaner, healthier air, but they will also deliver many financial benefits. Electric buses are highly efficient and have lower operating costs than diesel buses. Additionally, maintenance costs will drop tremendously because there are fewer moving parts and overall maintenance needs. Because of these cost benefits from electric buses, we can take that money that would have been spent on maintenance and fuel and allocate it to other areas that are in more need of assistance, as to some of the programs that Kevin had mentioned. To give you another example, in Greensboro, North Carolina, where electric buses have been implemented, their director of transportation has reported that the city has already saved over $160,000 in fuel and $185,000 in maintenance. These are real numbers. These are real things. In my capacity with the Assembly Transportation Committee and serving as the vice chairman, any bill that's tied to these efforts behind us will come through that committee. And I make a promise to you all and to the community that we serve, particularly here in the city of Camden, that we will do absolutely everything we can to ensure that we are fostering this growth in the right direction for generations to come. As Kevin had mentioned, for my daughter, who will hopefully arrive in the next 2 weeks, sooner if my wife has any choice. Thank you very much, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. And the Assemblyman is another example of why South Jersey is able to punch beyond its weight, as he modestly alluded to. His role as a vice chair of the Assembly Transportation and Independent Authorities Committee really has helped him be a very effective advocate for us and for South Jersey in Trenton, and that is, Assemblyman, very much appreciated. I'd now like to invite up to the podium Camden County Commissioner Jeff Nash, a longtime friend, as the Congressman mentioned, 30 years of his career to public service, in addition to being the Camden County Commissioner since 2002, has been serving as the vice chair of the DRPA. So, Jeff, please come on up.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and good morning, everyone. I feel like I'm at a reveal party. It's a girl. Congratulations, Bill. On behalf of the Camden County Board of Commissioners, I want to thank you, and also it's a pleasure to join in this celebration. I would like to recognize a couple of people who are here today. First, John Hanson, who is the CEO at the DRPA, and Mike Venuto, who is the chief engineer. If you have passed by a Patco station, you have seen the solar panels that line the parking lots. That is providing 50% of the energy to run Patco, and it has reduced our carbon footprint. So to John and Mike, congratulations. True environmental champions, and also Chris Calori, who heads the Camden Community Partnership, who understands that the revitalization of Camden City must include environmental and social justice. So thank you, Chris. One of the great privileges to be the Camden County Commissioner Liaison to the Division of Environmental Affairs is that I get to participate in many important environmental events such as this. But few are as meaningful as electrifying our bus fleet. And let me tell you why. Last year, the American Lung Association issued its report of air quality in various regions throughout the state of New Jersey and the United States. And in that report, Camden County, our region of Camden County, Gloucester County, including Philadelphia, received a big fat F grade from the Lung Association. And that is because our region is boxed in between 95 to the west in Philadelphia, 676, 295, the New Jersey Turnpike, with prevailing winds coming right over our region. And that grade F means that our air quality is not good in our region. And that means that the people who are within our regions are subject to health concerns such as the asthma that we're seeing in many of the children who live in this city, in Camden. But there is a solution to this problem. The solution is electrifying what are currently internal combustion engines in cars, in trucks, and importantly, in our buses. And that's what we are doing today. So I want to thank our president, Joe Biden, our Congressman, Donald Norcross, for passing the most important legislation, perhaps in my lifetime, and that is to build out an electrical infrastructure that will support a growing electric vehicle industry. And I want to thank Governor Murphy, our state legislators, our mayor, for making sure that we are incentivizing people to buy electric vehicles. And I want to thank New Jersey Transit in particular for electrifying our buses, because that resolves an important component part of the problem. And as we stand here today, electrifying our buses is perhaps the first step in what will move our F grade to an A grade. And I appreciate everyone being here to be part of this inception. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff, and thanks all for recognizing John. I'll go to that later, but John Hanson, a great partner at DRPA, and obviously the PADCO president, and Chris Calori, aside from being the president of the Camden Community Partnership, also one of the predecessors. Chris, we still have your picture up on our wall there, so you set a good high bar that we try every day to keep maintaining. So great that you could join us. Thanks. We are in the midst of March Madness, and I can think of no better time to introduce our next speaker, born and raised in Camden, Mayor Victor Karczothan. And as many of you know, Mayor, please come up. The mayor is a Camden basketball legend and one of the most decorated players in Camden high school history. I believe you're still fourth rated as the all-time high scoring list. So went on to play for Temple and twice led the Owls to the Elite Eight. So I don't know about the rest of you, but my bracket is totally shot now. But Mayor, we'll look to you for any insights. And one other point I should mention, Mayor, that your cousin DeLitha actually worked right here in our Newton Avenue facility for nearly 29 years before retiring back in 2014 as a chief clerk. So you truly are a virtual member of the New Jersey Transit family, as well as a great mayor. So please come on up.
Thank you. Thank you. That's always an interesting segue, my first, March Madness and NJ Transit. So thank you for that. I want to thank everyone here for coming to our great city today. You have to commend our great Governor Murphy for all his actions in reducing emissions, not only in our city of Camden, but across the state of New Jersey. You know, our awesome congressman, thank you for always advocating for your sustainable initiatives and transformational projects that improve the quality of life. You know, it's always great when I get your phone call, because I'm always rubbing my hands and thinking, what's coming here? The check is coming. I want to thank NJ Transit for stepping up and not just, you know, for bringing something that's the first to Camden, but being committed from an environmental standpoint and helping our customers, and not only just our customers from that point, but also our community is near Newton Avenue. It's important that we continue to fight together in reducing our emissions, and that goal that you're setting of being 100% emission-free for all of our bus fleet, I'm looking forward to that, truly. I have a small story. In my early years, I was responsible for the NTD for a transit company, the National Transit Database. You know, it deals with the financials, operations, and assets, and also the riders, revenues, the fares, and things like that. And I was responsible for that. So I have a little bit of knowledge of, you know, how things work and operate in transit system. And I bring that point up because I look back and say, if I was still working in that industry now, and I looked at this new particular line item that's there, and this was these electric buses and our electric charging systems, that line item means so much. And that particular line item for me would have meant so much because I look at that and how much environmental justice is bringing to our communities. So I'm thankful to have been in that industry. I'm thankful that that line item is going to be there in the near future. And as our great congressman said, he was at a game with me on Sunday. And our dear Camden basketball team, a tremendous loss that, you know, was emotionally, I'm still emotionally coming down from that. But that was a loss. You know, today is a win. It's a win for our city, and I'm so glad to be here, part of that win, because this win is going to help so many other people in our city and our community. So thank you all for coming here today. I'm humbled to be here, always humbled to be a part of something that's Team Camden. Thank you.
And Mayor, we'll keep on working on giving you some more wins here at Transit. So, next speaker I'd like to introduce is our NJ Transit Board member and Cherry Hill Councilwoman Sangeeta Doshi. As the Congressman referred to earlier, Sangeeta is certainly been a great, fierce advocate for South Jersey on our board and on behalf of the state overall. She's also a very passionate advocate for sustainability and environment, serving on the board's energy, our first newly created Energy and Sustainability Committee. So with that, she's always one of the people who first challenges us anytime we have a capital item up. Okay, what's being done to maximize sustainability elements in the design? So. And she always does it with the customer first in mind. So that's Sangeeta. Please come on up and say a few words.
Thank you, Kevin, and good morning to everyone, and thank you all for being here today. It's so great to be here with Congressman Norcross, Assemblyman Millen, County Commissioner Nash, good friend, Mayor Karczothan, Mike Kilcoyne, Senior Vice President of Bus and Transit and General Manager Operations and Chairman of the ATU New Jersey State Council, and all the stakeholders and officials that are with us today. In addition to my duties as serving as a New Jersey Transit Board member, as Kevin mentioned, representing the interests of South Jersey, I also sit on the board's Energy and Sustainability Committee. As Kevin mentioned when he introduced me, I'm quite passionate about our environment and ensuring that business decisions at New Jersey Transit, particularly as they relate to capital projects and infrastructure, are made with a focus on sustainability and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. That's why I'm especially excited to be here today celebrating the important milestone that not only have a transformational impact on the environment, but we get to introduce the first electric buses in New Jersey Transit's fleet right here in Camden in South Jersey. I'm proud to have been part of the 3 key board votes that authorized the continued advancement of New Jersey's transit zero-emission bus program. We approved the award for the construction of the charging infrastructure for here at the Newton Bus Garage in September 2020. In October 2021, we approved the purchase of the agency's first 8 electric buses. And then just last week on the board, we approved the award to begin the first phase in New Jersey's Transit's bus modernization program. This phase involves the system-wide survey and assessment of all 16 of our bus garages, along with design and construction assistance for the installation of charging infrastructure, which is key, at our Hilton Garage in Maplewood. I was also fortunate to be able to participate in the unveiling of New Jersey Transit's first solar-powered bus shelter in Cherry Hill. Thank you, Congressman, for attending that in September last year, where I joined the Congressman, Mayor Angulo, and Cherry Hill Councilwoman Appel. Anytime we can improve the customer experience for New Jersey Transit riders while improving the environment by reducing our carbon footprint, that's a win-win for everyone. And I encourage everyone, as Kevin had mentioned, to visit our sustainability plan online and to register for the public webinar we have tomorrow, which is scheduled for tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. New Jersey Transit wants to hear from the riders and the public on the importance of sustainability issues relating to transit. And at tomorrow's webinar, you'll learn more about the plans and development, as well as the opportunity to participate in our survey and what matters most on a wide variety of sustainability issues, from greenhouse gas emissions to clean vehicle technology. As a New Jersey Transit Board member, I will continue to advocate for socially and environmentally responsible public transit, not just for South Jersey, but for all New Jersey residents. I'm pleased thus far with New Jersey Transit's commitment, and rest assured I will continue to keep the agency focused on sustainability moving forward. I'll close with a Native American proverb that my dad has on his desk that I believe says it best. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. With that, I'll turn it back to Kevin.
Great. Thank you, Sangeeta. And I would say, as the Congressman noted, that, it's not just, when you get electric buses, it's not like going down to Walmart and buying a batch of, we have 2,500 buses. It's not like you go buy 2,500 toasters and plug them into the wall. The infrastructure, the bus is one thing, and that's, after this, we'll be able to take a tour and spend some time. But it's the infrastructure, and it even required a substation. So the amount of work that it takes to get this right, and that's why this event is so important, takes a lot of shepherding by a lot of people at New Jersey Transit, and that comes under particularly no one has broader shoulders than Mike Kilcoyne, our Senior Vice President, Surface Transportation and General Manager of Bus Operations, who oversees all the bus operations and has been the driver behind this project. So, Mike, you want to come up and say a few words?
Thank you, Kevin. And good morning, everyone. And I thank Congressman Norcross, Assemblyman Moen, County Commissioner Nash, Mayor Karczothan, New Jersey Transit Board member and Cherry Hill Councilwoman Sangeeta Doshi, the Chairman of the ATU, New Jersey State Council, Orlando Riley, and all the stakeholders and officials who join us here this morning. To be here at our Newton Avenue garage marking the completion of the installation of the charging infrastructure, where the agency's first electric buses will soon be deployed, is especially meaningful for me. When I first began my career in bus operations more than 37 years ago, the prospect of electric buses seemed more like something out of a science fiction movie. And here we are today, standing in a garage that's now prepared to support the operation of 8 electric buses that will be running along the streets of Camden by the end of this year. From an operations perspective, I'm eager to introduce these buses into revenue service and to study how they perform in real-world conditions. Over the last 2 to 3 years, I've had the good fortune to learn from the deployments of electric buses at other transit agencies, both nationally and internationally. And while no two transit agencies' experiences are exactly the same, and there's been varying degrees of success, we've had the opportunity to take what we've learned to help shape our own roadmap to transitioning to a zero-emissions bus fleet. There's nothing that can really predict how this relatively new technology will perform unless we can actually deploy the buses on our own existing routes. That's exactly what this 8-bus deployment here in Camden will do for New Jersey Transit. We'll observe and analyze how they perform in varying weather conditions and temperatures, and determine what we can expect in an average range of miles on a single charge while operating along various roadways in the greater Camden area. All this data will be critically important as we begin to plan the future expansion of electric buses across the state, with a similar deployment planned for our Hilton Garage in Maplewood following Camden. As you heard from President Corbett and Board Member Doshi earlier, as part of the first phase of our Garage Modernization program, last week the Board approved the design and construction assistance services for the installation of charging infrastructure in our Hilton Garage, as well as the system-wide survey and assessment of all 16 of our bus garages. So I'm very pleased with the way our zero emissions bus program is continuing to advance steadily and deliberately to ensure the best possible outcome for New Jersey Transit and all of our stakeholders. Most importantly, we're committed to maintaining service reliability for our customers throughout the transition to zero emissions buses. I want to thank Governor Murphy, New Jersey Transit Commissioner, and New Jersey Transit Board Chair Diane Gutierrez-Scacchetti, President and CEO Corbett, Board Member Doshi, along with the entire New Jersey Transit Board of Directors for their continued leadership and support. And Congressman Norcross, Assemblyman Moen, and our entire New Jersey Transit congressional delegation and New Jersey State Legislature for their advocacy and support for the necessary funding that allows us to continue to advance our zero emissions bus program. And of course, I want to thank Chairman of the ATU New Jersey State Council, Orlando Riley. This program cannot move forward without the partnership and support of our labor leadership and the men and women of the ATU who kept our state moving throughout the pandemic and continue to do so today, and will continue to keep it moving as we transition to a zero emissions bus fleet. With that, I'll turn it back to Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. And last but not least, when I came in this job 4+ years ago, there were no shortage of challenges that we know New Jersey Transit faced. And certainly the railroad side got a lot of that with the shortage of engineers. But what maybe got a little less attention was on the bus side, just what the shortage of bus operators we had. And we worked very closely with the ATU to dig out from that hole, and could not have had a better partner than the leadership at ATU. And if anybody knows who comes from a labor family, it may sound like a glorious title, being the chairman of the ATU, New Jersey State Council, but as labor leaders, I think sometimes I got a tough job. Try being a labor leader. And so Orlando has been a great partner, and certainly what we did to get through the pandemic to keep the essential workers coming, and as well as our bus operators and mechanics and everyone safe, had a great partnership with the ATU. And Orlando, appreciate everything you've done, and a great partnership. So why don't you come up and say a few words?
Thank you, Kevin. I probably could talk about this pretty bus for about 10 minutes, but I'll be brief. So before I start, I want to acknowledge a few people who are here with me. First, I'd like to acknowledge Pablo Gonzalez. He's a vice chairman of the ATU, but he's also the president of Local 820. Pablo. And also president of this actually garage that we're at now, 540. Steve. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of 540 because we're in the South. I apologize. Steve, Local 880, Steve Van Sant, he's the president, and he's here with the financial secretary, Corey Galman. He's also the recording secretary of the state council. So he's probably going to kill me for saying 540 later, but my apologies. So let me just briefly talk about the beginning of the pandemic. I took over as chairman in 20, and I had relationships with Mike Kilcorn, but we didn't deal directly with each other. But the pandemic hit, and we really got to know each other during the pandemic. We really got to know each other. There were a lot of things that went on behind the scenes that our operators, our mechanics will never know. And I think we did a really, really good job of protecting our members and providing those protections for them. We both lost people on each side. We lost union people and we lost management people, but I think we did a hell of a job. So pleasure working with you, Mike and Kevin. So for many years, I actually was a mechanic in Hilton Garage. And we hear talk about electric buses, but, you know, it's just talk. So back in 1995, when I was a mechanic, we would run buses and the garage would fill up with smoke. Literally a lot of smoke. And, you know, it's incredible to think that now the mechanics and the maintenance workers will be able to work and not have to breathe fumes, toxic fumes, and it's just incredible. Now, I may not be around to see the completion of it, but just to know that it's on the horizon, you know, that's a good feeling. So also, it's really glad to see New Jersey Transit at the forefront, of this technology. You know, sometimes, you know, we tended to be a little behind with some of the technology, but it's really good to see that we're out front and we're looking to make a change with this electrification. One more thing I want to talk about as far as the electrification, it is a very dangerous job. We need really skilled employees, maintenance workers to work on these buses. And the ATU, just want New Jersey Transit to know that the ATU is behind you 100%, and we're fully invested in our members being trained and properly trained on these buses. So it's not just the maintenance people, but it's also the operators who have to be trained on how to operate these buses too. So this is very serious. I know it looks great, but there's a lot of work that has to be done behind the scenes to make sure that this is done properly, and I want to acknowledge that. So with that, I'm done, but thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. Congressman, thank you for all your help. A lot of our members, they have no idea what goes on behind the scenes, and just like the pandemic showed, it takes all of us to make this world work. So thank you.
Thank you, Orlando, and very true about safety when you're dealing with electricity, obviously particularly higher voltage electricity. We know that from a rail side, you know, safety first, and we look forward to working with the union on the proper training and with our safety department. So with that, again, thanks all for joining us today to celebrate this significant milestone, you know, as we transition to 100% zero emission fleet, as with all the benefits that everyone has commented up here. I'd now like to invite all our speakers to gather at the electric bus for some photos, and then we'll have the opportunity to get inside and get a little talk about the technology. Come on up, please.